Hi, my name is Rain Howard, and I'm doing a video project for my Western Civ class on Leonardo da Vinci. And today I have my son Tucker Kelsey here with me, and we're going to talk about Leonardo and what kind of contributions he made to the Renaissance era. The Renaissance era was a rebirth of the civilization in Europe. It ran from about 1350 to 1550, and it was called the rebirth or the new age of Europe. It had big political and economic and artistic and intellectual feats that they had. And Leonardo da Vinci grew up in this era, and he studied under some very famous artists at this time, at the youngest at the age of 14. He was not only a painter, he was a sculptor, an architect, a musician, a mathematician, engineer, and inventor, botanist, and a writer. The High Renaissance era was dominated by the work of three great artists: Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, and Michelangelo. He represented a transitional figure in the shift to High Renaissance principles. He carried on the 15th century experimental transition by studying everything and even dissecting human bodies to see clearly how nature worked. So he would go to where the morgues were, where people got prepared to be buried, and he would dissect human bodies and draw pictures of what the muscles look like, the bones look like, how a hand moved from one side to the next, and he would draw pictures of bones, and he also had pictures of the fetuses in a woman's womb, which is pretty cool. And let's see. Leonardo stressed the need to advance beyond such realism and initiated the High Renaissance preoccupation with the idealization of nature, or the attempt to generalize from the realistic Portugal to ideal form. And at the same time, the scientific study of problems of perspective, this talks about his mathematics side, is a Renaissance artist declared that no painter can paint without the thorough knowledge of geometry. So you couldn't paint a painting without having to really show the background, like show things go off into a distance, show it like you're just looking at it from sitting there. And according to Leonardo da Vinci, since God eternally geometricizes nature, is inherently mathematical. Proportion is not only found in numbers. You can't yawn. In our book on page 361, it shows a picture of the Last Supper, and this is one of the famous paintings that Leonardo da Vinci did in a chapel. And it shows the point of perspective where Jesus is in the middle and everything is centered around him, and the disciples are beside him. And the reason why this is such an interesting painting is it shows them with real emotion, real concern, as if Jesus said, one of you is going to deceive me. And it says that in evident, Leonardo's Last Supper is his effort to depict a person's character and inner nature by the use of gesture and movement. And unfortunately, Leonardo used an experimental technique in this fresco, which soon led to physical deterioration. And what that means is fresco is a water-based plaster wall, and he painted oil painting over it, and it's not adhering to the fresco wall. It's or plaster wall. It's peeling off. And what's really sad is because this painting is so great. It's so moving in a way, and it really speaks to what he believed, I think, and what he thought was going on when Jesus was at his Last Supper. Leonardo da Vinci was a great man. He was a great thinker and wanted to learn absolutely everything. I admire his drive, his need for knowledge and want to better the world. He wanted to learn more so he could help others, I believe. And also, he was just a great, he drew some of the first drawings of a flying object. He drew anatomical, like bones and the fetus, and he studied math, and he really had it was the first major thinker, I think, of this time in this era. So that concludes my video project for Leonardo da Vinci. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Thank you. Bye.